Hey, attorney Nate Webb here to talk to you about the Fourth Amendment and exceptions to the warrant requirement. So we all know that some cop knocks on your door and says, "Hey, can I come in your house?" You can say, "Go pound sand, no." All right. But if they have a warrant, then they can go ahead and show you that warrant, tell you what they're looking for, and they can come into your home. But there are certain exceptions to them having to get a warrant, and so I want to discuss those here with you today. So, all attorneys, when they go through law school, they go to first year criminal law and they're taught about all the amendments that apply to criminal law, particularly the Fourth Amendment. And in this particular amendment, you have a right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. There's just tons of case law on it, and it's been broken down throughout the states. It may vary a little bit, but in almost every single state and every circumstance, even federally, there are exceptions to having an officer or law enforcement officers get a warrant. One of those would be if there are exigent circumstances. And so that means emergency circumstances. So, for example, I do a lot of traffic offense kinds of cases. And an exigent circumstance might be if there was a vehicular homicide and the individual who was alleged to have committed that offense might be unconscious. And so even though they could probably get a warrant, the circumstances might entail that they might need to go and get that blood immediately because that individual might die. Or if they don't die, then they have the blood. So these exigent circumstances could be applicable in that context. There could be many, many other situations where it's an emergency situation. An officer comes to a door, knocks on the door, hears someone yelling, "Hey, they're killing me inside." Okay, that's exigent circumstances. They're going to be able to break down that door and come on inside. Okay. The other is what is called plain view. So if it's in plain and open view to an officer, for example, if an officer were walking by someone's apartment complex and saw what they perceived and they had the experience to see that someone was snorting cocaine or smoking crack cocaine or something like that, something that's obvious, it's in plain view through a window, there's not anything, and they weren't snooping, they just happened to see it, then they can go ahead and pursue that criminal activity. In the traffic context, it would be like, for example, if an officer walked by and saw an open container or something within the vehicle, a weapon, that would be the plain view doctrine where they could go ahead and investigate that without a warrant or without your consent. The other is consent. So if you've consented to allowing them in your home or allowing them to search your vehicle, which I would never recommend, don't ever consent. But if you do consent, then they can go ahead and search whatever you've allowed them to search. Another would be as if you had been arrested in a criminal case, they can do what is called a search incident to arrest. And this would involve patting you down, looking for weapons or things of that nature. And in Washington, for example, if they could go ahead and search portions of your car, not all of it, but portions of your car, if it was in furtherance of the crime. So, for example, if you had been stopped and they saw plain view cocaine or you admitted to that, then they might be able to search a little further depending upon the circumstances within the vehicle glove compartment. Maybe not the trunk necessarily, but they could search further within the vehicle, so there could be that automobile exception. The other would be if you're a prisoner in jail, then there could be some special needs where they can, your rights are lessened there, as you might imagine, and they could search you for contraband and things like that without asking you about it. Okay, they don't need a warrant to go in your cell and look for, contraband. And so, if you have questions about whether or not the search that you encountered was legal or not, go ahead and give me a call and we can talk about it and see if one of these exceptions applied or if they violated your Fourth Amendment right. Go ahead and contact us, see us down below, webattorney.com, and I'm happy to help you out.